So football is not a child's joke at all. It's not a child's joke. Some of our players that represented the country, they've now started training intensively for their different clubs. We talk about the likes of Kevin Bassi, Alex Iwobi, Samuel Chukwueze. They reported to camp Thursday morning or thereabouts. Traveled on Wednesday. By Thursday morning, they are already sighted training intensively because Fulham have a very important game this weekend against Arsenal. So that's what it is. No rest for these guys. Travel from country to country, play match for national team. You travel, go back to your club side immediately. You're slotting right in your training. That's how busy it is for these guys. But I mean, a lot of us can agree that yes, it might be stressful, but the money is really worth it. They are being paid a lot of money. So I mean, if anything, that can just be something to use and make up for all of the stress and effort. But it's not just these guys in Fulham. We've also seen the likes of Wilfred Ndidi showing up for the club. Traveled on Wednesday evening slash night, arrived in the morning or so, and this guy immediately got into the training camp of the Besiktas side and started training intensively. They have a game as well on Saturday. So it's just the same with all these guys, who came to the camp. No rest for them. But that's not the major gist I wanted to share with you in this video. We've had a couple of legends of the team who have now come out to give their advices that have come from some international, ex-international of the Super Eagles. Talk about Brian Ideye, talk about Victor Ikpeba as well, who have come out to give one or two talks regarding the Super Eagles and what they need to do to actually improve, especially in terms of uh, being a better team, scoring better goals, having more scoring options, rather than relying on only Victor Osimhen and his goals to get us results. Because if you can agree with me, this is obviously a fact, whether you like it or not. Victor Osimhen's presence in our team was actually the reason why we qualified to the playoffs. Remember the first five games that we played, Osimhen was not available for those games, the first five qualifiers, and we didn't win any of those games. I think first four, first five, we didn't win any of these games. It was until Victor Osimhen started coming to the camp that was when we started getting results. We started winning games. And there were a couple of games that we drawed. I think one or two that Osimhen got us a goal, and we could have defended well to get slim victory in those matches, but we slipped at the end. And when Osimhen was substituted, we saw mistakes in the defense, in the goalkeeping area, and we conceded goals and then ended up losing some points. In fact, that's the reason why we find ourselves in this position. So just to share what some of these ex-internationals have said, starting with Brown Ideye, he said that the team, the team, like the strikers in our team, will have to find a way to demand more from themselves. They will have to find a way to start scoring goals, push themselves to be scoring goals and be helping the team as well, just in the same way that Osimhen is helping the team with his goals. Ideye says that if we rely on Victor Osimhen's goals alone, then there's going to be a problem for the Super Eagles. And the problem will not just be on how to qualify, even as we are in the playoffs now, seeking to play Gabon and then later maybe play Cameroon or DR Congo if we win Gabon. He says that the team is going to suffer even when we qualify, and then go into the World Cup tournament properly. And we don't have strikers who can step up and push themselves to get goals. Then obviously we will not go far because we cannot rely on Victor Osimhen's goals alone. So that is what Brownie Day said. In his word, he said if Victor Osimhen is the only striker doing numbers when it comes to scoring goals for the Super Eagles, then we have a problem. If we make it to the World Cup, the other strikers need to step up their game. That's what Brownie Day said. And then similarly, Victor Ikpeba also reacted to the Super Eagles, and for him, he feels that the Super Eagles are in the position that they are right now, barely dragging for the playoff to see if they can qualify through that route. He says that there are three uh, matches, in the group stages that we actually messed up and it put us in the situation that we are right now. Of course, this is very obvious. even without Victor Ikpeba coming out to say these things. I'm sure we already know the places that we messed up, the Lesotho game, even the Benin Republic, where Finidi was in charge. Of course, we know the story. Victor Osimhen did not show up for that game, and it caused a bit of a problem between the coach, the FA, Victor Osimhen himself, where Osimhen was angered and went out publicly on Instagram to vent his frustration on Finidi. But Ikpeba is saying that those games are actually the reason why we didn't qualify straight. That if we had gotten results in those games, then I mean we would not even wait to the final for we to know our fate. That's what he said. In his words, he said our slow start was our greatest undoing. We couldn't do the job against Lesotho at home. We drew away to Zimbabwe and lost to the Republic of Benin. Our form during that period was terrible. We had a manager, Joseph Osoro, who left, and Finidi George came in. There was a little bit of chaos everywhere, and that's where we didn't get it right. This manager, Eric Shell, has done a great job. 4 wins and 2 draws from 6 games. So that's what Ikpeba has said. This is very clear. I mean, it's really very clear what he's saying now, even without him coming out to say. We obviously know that we messed up, from the beginning of our games, and then at the end or towards the end, we started grasping at straws, trying to see how we can, survive based on permutations. But there's also been another reaction as well coming from a Super Eagles legend. This time is from a very great defender during his playing days in person of Ben Iroha. He has come out to back the Super Eagles to qualify through the playoffs. Where we have the likes of Aubameyang and Gabon up next, and then we get to play Cameroon, very strong team, and then DR Congo. We know how strong DR Congo has become in recent times. So it's going to be a difficult test. But Ben Iroha is saying that if the Super Eagles will be able to perform in the manner that they performed against Benin Republic by getting that great result, beating them 4-0, then he sees the Super Eagles going through the playoffs. He sees them winning the African opponent and then going to in the Intercontinental Championship. That is basically the argument that the legend Iroha has come out to post. In his words, he said, if they replicate this form and performance in the playoffs next month in Morocco, I'm sure the road will be clear for our World Cup qualification. You may say they left it late, but it's better late than never. You appreciate success more when you work hard and earn it the tough way. We have a group of young and talented players who I believe are getting better with every game. The Morocco playoffs are around the corner. I can only advise that they keep working hard and build on this momentum to complete the job they've just started. So that's Ben Iroha saying his mind and as well giving a bit of an advice to the team, urging them to continue, in this momentum and to continue to seek to improve, in this area, building from the 4-0 victory over Benin Republic. So that's basically all for now. As you know, the boys have returned back to their club side, and this weekend from Saturday, Sunday, we'll be seeing a lot of actions involving Super Eagles players, and hopefully, they'll perform at the top of their game, and then we'll be here to talk about their exploits over the weekend.